Welcome back to CodeCraftByAderemi. Since most beginners don't understand how random passwords are generated, today we will build one from scratch using JavaScript. So let's get started. So we'll create an HTML file, JavaScript file, and a CSS file. Name it index.html. Is style.css. And lastly, we create script.javascript. So let's start with the HTML. Okay, let's change the title to password generator. Now let's link our CSS to the HTML. Style.css. Let's do the same for the JavaScript. Okay, so let's start. Let's create a div which will be called container. Container. Okay, let's create an h2 password generator. So let's create an input type. So the type is going to be test. Then give it an ID. It's going to be password. Then we want it to be, we just want to be reading it, not typing anything in the input. So give it, make it read only. Let's create a label. Name it password length. We'll also create another input. So this time around is going to be number. Now we give it an ID. It's going to be length. Then we want the minimum of the password to be 6. It should not be less than 6. And maximum of 20. It should not be more than 20. It should not be less than 6 and it should not be more than 20. And give it a value of 10. So let's create a button. Give it an ID. Generate. Generate password. Okay. I think we are done with the structure of the HTML. Now let's view it with live server. Okay. Let's move to the next step, which is the CSS. Let's start the body first. Let's give it a font family, which is going to be Arial. To also have a background. IE, 1E, 1E, 2F, 2F. Then give it an height of 100 VH. I think there's error with the spelling of the height. Okay, it's correct now. Display is going to display flex. Then I want everything to be centered. So make use of align items. Center. You make use of justify contents. This is also going to be center. Okay, we are done with the body. Okay, it's working. Now let's start the container. Let's start the container. Should display grid. Then give it a background. Is FFF. Then we give it a padding of 25 pixels. And it will also have a border radius, which is 10 pixels. Let's add a width of 300 pixels. So let's enter all the tests. Let's test align. Center. Okay. They are all working perfectly. Now let's start the input of the button. Let's give it a background. 6C63FF. 6C63FF. Then it's going to have a color of white. You don't want it to have a border, so make it none. So it will have a padding of 10 pixels. 10 pixels. So the button is going to take over all the space, so we'll make it 100% the width. Then we want the cursor to be pointer. Then it will have a border radius of 5 pixels. Okay, it's working perfectly. And let's start the over. Give it a background. Which is 5548C8. 5548C8. Yeah. So it's purple. Okay, you can see the work of the over. Let's go back. Let's start the input. The width is going to be 100%. So we'll also have a padding of 10 pixels. Then a margin of 10 pixels. Okay. I think we are done with the styling. Now let's move to the JavaScript. So we'll first select the elements we need from the HTML. Then we'll save them in a variable. Let's select them first. We make use of document dot get elements by ID. Get elements by ID. Then let's start get the HTML, which is password. The HTML elements. If you check our input ID, you see there. Now let's save it in a variable called password. Password feed. Let's target another HTML element, which is the input type of number. Length. Let's save it in a variable called length input. So this line of code gets the input where the user enters the password length. Let's do another one. We put another one for the button. Generate. Let's save it in a variable called generate button. So next, we'll create a string that contains all the characters we want to use for the password. So we are saving them in a variable called characters. So this will include the lowercase letters from A to Z. So we also have the uppercase letters there. And some numbers. I have some numbers from 0 to 9. So next, we try to listen for a click event on the generate button. So we'll make use of the add event listener here. So you're making use of the generate button. So let's create a variable called password with an empty string. So when the button is clicked, we first create an empty password. Let's create another variable called length. Length input dot value. So we are trying to get the password length entered by the user. Okay, let's create a loop. Equals 0. Greater than length. Then I plus plus. So we are trying to generate a random number and save it in a variable. We'll call the variable random index. Then we'll make use of a JavaScript function which is called Math.floor. Math.floor, sorry. Then open brackets, Math.random. That's another JavaScript function. Multiply by characters dot length. So the math.random is used to generate random numbers, while the math.floor is used to round down to the nearest numbers. So password equals to characters, square brackets, random index. So to be adding each character one after the other. So this random number is used to pick a random character from the character strings. Password feed dot value equals password. So after the loop finish running, we will assign the generated password to the input field. So every time we click the button, a new random password is generated. It's not working. Let's inspect. Let's check the console. Okay. There's nothing here. Let's go back to our code. Let's check where the error is from. Still try to figure out where the error is from. Okay, that was the password length. Let's go back to the code. Okay, this is where the error is. It should be input dot value, not area value. Let input dot value. Okay. Okay, it's working perfectly now. It's working perfectly now. You can see. Depends on the length of the password that you want to generate it for you. You can see. You can see. So you have a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 7. You can see they are all working perfectly. So that's how a simple password generator works using JavaScript. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more beginner-friendly projects. Thank you.